So let's talk about weighted average on a number line, and then we'll look at weighted average on the coordinated plane. But first, we have kind of this basic scenario where we can say that A weighs twice as much as C, and B weighs 3 times as much as C. So to evaluate this situation, so we're going to look at what that means. So if I'm thinking A weighs twice as much as C, then A is 2 times, right? Whatever C is. Well, C, if A is twice C, then we know this value here is 2 times this value here, which 2 times 1. So C has 1 weight, and A has 2 weights. But then it says B weighs 3 times as much as C. So I look at C, and I know that this must have 3 weights. So the relationship to this is very similar to average. And average is always some sum divided by the total items. So if I'm looking at this, what that is saying is I look at the value of A and I multiply it by 2. So then I have this not negative 2, I apologize. It's positive 2 times negative 4. So let's try and get this a little more clearly, but 2 times negative 4. And then I have this weight of 3 times the value of 2. And I have the value of 1, or weight of 1 times the value of 6, right? And so the sum of these values is the sum of these with their weights. But the average is dividing those sums by the total weights. And I have a weight of 2 plus a weight of 3 plus a weight of 1. So this gives me, if I simplify this, and I would end up with negative 8 plus 6 plus 6 all over 6, because 2 plus 3 plus 1 is 6, right? 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 times 6 is 6. So I'll simplify this to negative 8 plus 12 over 6, which simplifies to 4 over 6, which simplifies to 2/3. So the weighted average of A, B, and C when A is twice as much as C and B is 3 times as much as C is 2/3. And so we could go to the number line, right? If we put a 0 here, we could call this point, let's say if this is 1, so somewhere about here would be, if we call that the weighted average, right? So the formula is a little complex, but it takes the weight, right, of the first weight of the first coordinate, right, and this is a horizontal axis, so we can think of it as this is an x point, plus the weight of the second coordinate, right, plus the weight of the third coordinate, and of course these are all multiplication, right? Weight 1 times the value, plus weight 2 times the value, plus weight 3 times the value, all over the sum of the weights. Now, this formula looks scary, but it's just what we did here. And it's just recognizing that this is x1, x2, x3, and this is the weight that we are applied in the language of the problem.